This book went down in history as one of the best haunted house novels and one of the earliest mainstream examples of this genre. Stephen King even described the book as one of the most important horror novels of the 20th century. Released in 1959, it marked author Shirley Jackson's high point of her career. She was mostly known for short stories at this point. The Lottery stood out as her most popular one, and raising 4 children on a single income at a time, she was struggling to make ends meet. Hill House then was beloved by critics, but life took a dark turn for Jackson just a few years later, as I will explain later. Hill House is just that, a house on a hill, surrounded by mountains, trees and a whole lot of nothing. In the words of Shirley Jackson, Hill House, not sane, stood by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood so for 80 years and might stand for 80 more. It is supposedly haunted, a phenomenon that Dr. Montauk, an occult scholar, wants to look into, collecting evidence of the supposed strange happenings. He therefore invites a group of young volunteers to stay at the house for a weekend, amongst whom we find our main character Eleonora, a friendless and fragile young woman in search for her true self and acceptance. Hill House is more than just a location though, it's a whole character in this novel, a living, shape-shifting entity that's playing tricks on the minds of its inhabitants. The book builds up its tension very subtly, rarely through plain shock factor, but mostly through the pure anticipation that surely something must happen any second. Shirley Jackson walks a thin line between building anticipation and delivering on payoffs. She almost puts us in the same situation as her characters, constantly waiting for something to happen. Sometimes I would have wished for a few more concrete twists and turns to happen, but overall this dangling carrot on a stick was enough to keep me hooked and entertained throughout. Shirley Jackson is an excellent writer, capable of painting these characters also varied in their personalities and unique quirks. From a modern day's perspective, she's relying on common character tropes, like Dr. Montauk being this quirky, stuffy old scientific type. But that's mainly because a lot of modern media use this book as their inspiration. Her prose is poetic, the story under constant build-up. It's just the ending that felt a bit abrupt to me. Overall, The Haunting of Hill House is a captivating novel. For my taste, it could have gone even further with its horror elements, but overall it absolutely deserves its 4 stars. Jackson continues describing Hill House as follows. Within, walls continued upright. Bricks met nearly. Floors were firm, and doors were sensibly shut. Silence lay steadily against the wood and stone of Hill House, and whatever walked there, walked alone. Unfortunately, Jackson died 6 years after this book's release of heart failure, so it will always stand by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood so for 63 years, and it might stand for 63 more. For more book reviews, check out this playlist right here. Thank you and see you next time. Ciao.